What if the real problem is not your life, but the thoughts running through your mind? Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen is a powerful guide about why suffering begins inside the mind, not outside in the world. This book is especially useful for anyone struggling with anxiety, overthinking, self-doubt, stress, emotional burnout, or the feeling that life is harder than it should be. It is valuable because it offers a simple shift. Instead of trying to control everything, you learn how to find peace by understanding your own thinking. Suffering comes from thinking, not events. The book begins with one central idea. Pain may be unavoidable, but suffering is often optional. Joseph Nguyen explains that a difficult event can happen, but the suffering comes from the meaning we attach to it. Two people can face the same situation and feel completely different because each person creates a different reality through thought. A simple example is a person sitting in a coffee shop. One person may be calm and present, while another is anxious and overwhelmed, even though both are in the same place. The event is the same, but the experience is not. The lesson is clear. Our feelings do not come from the event itself, but from our thinking about the event. That is why the book says the root cause of suffering is our own thinking. The monk and empty boat story makes this lesson unforgettable. The monk keeps getting angry at noise and disturbance until he realizes the enemy was never the boat, the lake, or the people around him. It was his reaction. Once he sees that, peace returns. In the same way, much of our suffering disappears when we stop blaming the outside world and look within. Thoughts are good. Overthinking is the problem. The next major lesson is the difference between thoughts and thinking. Thoughts are natural and often arrive without effort, like a sudden idea or a creative spark. Thinking is when we start arguing with those thoughts, judging them, analyzing them, and turning them into fear. That is where emotional pain grows. Nguyen uses a money example to show this clearly. If you ask someone how much they want to earn, an answer appears quickly. That is just a thought. But once the person starts thinking about that thought, self-doubt may appear. I can't do that. It's unrealistic. Or I'm not enough. The original thought was neutral, but the thinking after it created the suffering. This is also why the mind can be a survival machine, but not always a happiness machine. The mind scans for danger, predicts threats, and tries to keep us safe. But in modern life, it often stays stuck in fear long after the danger is gone. The book's message is not to fight the mind, but to understand it and stop letting it run your life. Peace is already inside you. One of the most freeing ideas in the book is that we do not need to think positive to feel peace, joy, or love. Nguyen explains that our natural state is already calm, loving, and expansive. Positive feelings are not something we force into existence. They surface when thinking quiets down. He uses the image of a thoughtmeter, like a car's speedometer. The more thinking we do, the higher the stress rises. When thinking slows, peace naturally returns. That is why flow, creativity, and peak performance often happen when people are not overthinking. Athletes, artists, and leaders often perform best when they are fully present and not trapped in mental noise. The book also introduces the three principles: universal mind, consciousness, and thought. These ideas explain how we experience life from the inside out. Universal mind is the deeper intelligence behind life. Consciousness is our awareness, and thought is the raw material that creates experience. Together, they shape everything we feel and perceive. Trust intuition, create from inspiration, and live lighter. The final lessons are about trust, intuition, and living from inspiration instead of desperation. Nguyen says that many of our goals are created from fear, lack, and urgency. Those goals feel heavy and exhausting, but when a goal comes from inspiration, it feels light, joyful, and alive. The book also stresses unconditional love and unconditional creation. Love based on reasons can become conditional, but real love comes from a deeper place that does not depend on perfect behavior or perfect results. The same is true for creating a meaningful life. You do not need to force the how. Your job is to know what you want, stay open, and listen to intuition. At the end, the message is simple but powerful. You are not broken, and you do not need to fix yourself. You only need to see that much of your suffering is created by thinking, and that peace is already available underneath it. If this message speaks to you, read the book and apply it in real life. The change begins the moment you stop believing every thought.